The Belgian Grand Prix. Oh, I love this track. Spa. One of the most amazing tracks on the calendar. Unfortunately, in the next few years, it looks like it's going into a rotation, so we won't get it every single year.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, Adam. Do you know they speak French in Belgium?
I do know that, but that's because I know my war
Little
history.
known fact. Some people may not know that.
No, it's kind of crazy, right? And it's funny because it's such a like Netherlands right next door is such a Germanic leaning language.
Yeah.
A lot of hoots and huts and flits and you know what I mean. I only make fun of that because my wife's Dutch.
Thought you were gonna spit on
but
it
yeah,
there
a lot of hooks, a lot of hooks. But yeah, completely different. And you know what's crazy is it's Max Verstappen's birth country.
Yes.
I know he considers himself Dutch, but he was born in Belgium.
Yes.
And so this is obviously this is a country with a great race history. This is one of our favorite tracks on the calendar. It's absolutely spectacular. Tim, before we get in the car here, have you driven this directly?
Just on sim. Like not this sim, but like a
real sim.
real sim. It's awesome. Just from the sim.
It's a real sim.
Real sim. This
Real
is a real sim.
sim.
Yes, thank you, Jesse. That's right.
We have a Sunny Hayes level sim here. I just want to say that. All right.
Yes. So I have driven it on the sim. Pretty close to realistic. Just you don't have the if you make a mistake,
Yeah.
you just reset.
Yeah. You don't die on the sim. That's
No.
the idea of a
Yes.
good sim, right? Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, you don't have you don't have in real life, we make a mistake, we have an accident in the sim, we can reset. So there's that, right? So, I mean, Spa is such an exciting lap. It's an exciting track. And for the drivers, this is where an F1 car really it is like Silverstone. This is where a driver, can really bring the car to life, so to speak. And the undulation, which we'll get into, really provides like next level sort of excitement for the driver as well.
So let's get you on the track because, listen, this is a track that never is without drama. I double negative that one, but it's always good drama. And a few years ago, it got completely rained out, which put George Russell, if I'm not mistaken, on the podium.
That's right.
In a Williams.
That's right.
They did that one out lap, and it was just raining so hard that they couldn't possibly finish the race.
That was 2021 or
was it 21 or 22? I couldn't remember.
Something like that. I always mess the date up on that one.
And that's okay because you know what? It was during COVID and nobody remembers anything anyway. Now, obviously, right now what you're seeing is Tim go into the most famous part of this course. This is Eau Rouge. What makes this turn/uphill incline at max speed so challenging?
I don't think it's much of a challenge as it used to be for these cars because now there's so much downforce on the cars, Adam. I think like when you take away a lot of the downforce of the cars, then it becomes a very exciting sort of lap. I mean, I think when when the tires are cold, it's pretty exciting through there for the drivers. It's basically trying to straight line it as much as possible. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, of course.
Like you don't want to scrub speed off because they kind of treat it like a straightaway almost now. So it's not as exciting as probably it is in like a WEC or a GT car or a lower formula car.
Just because these cars are just gluier.
Yeah,
They've got
exactly.
that downforce, it pushes them down. It's
And they've made some good changes to it for safety reasons, obviously,
Yeah.
which is good. That have kind of opened the corner up a little bit more as well, because we've seen like cars crash and bounce back out onto the track, and obviously it's just horrible when that stuff happens. So I like the changes that they made to the track in terms of safety, especially Eau Rouge. But there are other corners on this track for the drivers that really like bring the excitement levels up, and we'll go through them when I get back to them. But yeah, it's just amazing.
What I love about this track too is that it is a racer fans track, and what I mean by that is rain or shine, and a lot of the times it's both over the course of a Belgian Grand Prix weekend. You get people sitting outside in the mud, and that is what real racing is. I mean, like when I grew up going to racetracks, you brought your own chair, or you back in the day we had just those seat pads before the real good foldable lawn chairs came out. And you sat and it was rainy or it was sunny and you were exposed to the elements. And a lot of this track is, obviously you see the grandstand on the left there, but a lot of this is you're coming out of the Ardennes forest and you're finding your little spot, your little viewing point, right?
Exactly. And I think this is, the true, like the racing fan, like absolutely loves this circuit. And there's so many different viewing points as well for fans. Like, and I think the general admission is still even fantastic for a racing fan, just because you can walk to so many different parts of the track. You can see the cars in different types of corners, different types of elevation. There we go. Sorry.
We had to make that corner. Now, one of the things about this track that often gets forgotten because Eau Rouge is so famous is that you're on a pretty steep incline here.
I mean,
decline.
Yeah, like there's so many parts of this track where you're kind of just like, you don't think they're going downhill from when you watch it on TV, but when you play the sims, you can see how much elevation change there actually is. And it kind of like messes up your lap a bit, because when you're looking at the corner that's coming up, you're kind of like, oh, this is going to be no problem. And then you have to take into consideration, you're going downhill, you're carrying more speed, and when you start to brake, there's all that inertia that's coming with you as well. So the brakes aren't, fully maximized as if you were in a straight line on a flat road. So there's that.
Right. Now, last year at this track,
and then there's that.
Mercedes had a bit of a renaissance mid-season last year, right? They had a car that they finally sort of figured out, and they figured out obviously that cold tires worked for them, and obviously winning Silverstone, and then they won this race. But what was interesting is George Russell won it, came in 3 pounds underweight, got disqualified, so Lewis Hamilton was the actual winner.
Yeah, I can't remember what the weight was. It was only like a couple of grams. I think it was, I remember George talking to George about it, and he was like, if I had have eaten a steak before I drove, the night before, he's like, I would have won the race, kind of deal. So I think it was something like, it was really, really small amount, but a big part of it is maybe not picking up enough tire rubber on the cool down lap. That would have done it as well. And same with fuel. If he hadn't have used as much fuel, he would have been okay. But again, we're talking not much, right? It was very small amount, but I just can't remember exact numbers. People in the comments, I'm sure, will correct us.
Of course. Now, this is one of the longer tracks too. This is a 7-kilometer track, which means that you only get 44 laps. And I wonder about how that affects tire strategy, other than, the weather. Let's just say it's a sunny day like we have on the sim right now. When you're putting together a team strategy for this race, how does having a long track affect that? It must exacerbate mistakes if you go a lap too long. Or leave the track and have your lap invalidated,
I can't believe saying that thing. Sorry, Adam, we're talking about tires.
Yes. Or just team strategy.
Well, I think one of the things, and we can bring it back to Mercedes, that they discovered last year here is the cooler temperatures, and just how much that really affected how their car reacted here and why they were able to do so well. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to, and how much degradation the tire actually had. So I think we're going to see at this track, this race weekend, a lot of that where the driver is able to push more because the temperatures can be cooler and all that kind of stuff. So I have a feeling we'll start seeing different teams doing well here, aside from just your, McLaren and Ferrari. Yeah.
Okay. Any midfield teams that you think would immediately benefit from a track like this?
Probably. I was going to say Williams. I'm interested to see how they do here.
Yeah?
I mean, even though they've had last few races haven't been great for them, I think Williams might be able to do well here. Their car's usually pretty good in a straight line, but again, I'm interested to see what the Red Bull can do, only because when we saw qualifying at Silverstone for Max and them just trimming the car out so much, I mean, if they did something similar to that here, I mean, it could pay huge dividends, right? Just got to be able to control the car and hold on to it.
Yeah.
That's the other part of the
100%.
That's going to be invalidated. Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll take that.
I love this. Yeah.
I love this.
Now, the drivers that do best in the wet are always going to be a factor on a track like this, because it's just the nature of the climate where they are. Rain usually factors in, assuming it does this year, and we don't know for sure how it's going to look. Who are the drivers that you think? Do you defer to the veteran guys, your Fernando Alonso's, your Lewis Hamilton's?
Well,
even a guy like Lance Stroll, who's got over 200 race starts, comes from a weird climate, right, like Canada, where you're used to wet. George Russell, Lando Norris. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, Adam, you make a good point. I mean, when we see a guy like Lance in the wet, he's obviously very handy, he knows what he's doing, very good at it. Guys like Fernando, the more experienced guys are going to be great here. I would also say, like, don't count out, you know, a driver like a Liam Lawson or, you know, obviously Yuki Tsunoda, who's been having a rough time in the Red Bull for obvious reasons. Kind of levels the playing field when we start talking about the wet. You know, I'm always brought back to George Russell's qualifying lap that he did here back in, it was like 2021, I think it was.
Yeah, which was a crazy lap.
It was a crazy lap in the wet. He was fantastic. I mean, you know, don't be surprised if you see a wet quali and have like a shocking team from the back or the midfield, you know, qualifying the top 5 or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised to see something.
So that's kind of what makes it fun, though. And this is what we love about the cost cap, is it allows for more opportunities like that to occur, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We're on a good lap here, Adam. Let's just see if we don't get it.
I'm not even going to interrupt you for the rest of it.
I can't believe, actually, like, we're doing this well at this point.
Okay.
Just simply because I'm sitting here chatting away and not focusing on the actual driving.
I think that means you're locked in. That's what the kids call it. You're locked the F in.
You had to put the F in there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Somebody's. Oh, on the gravel! Oh, he's lost time there, but not that much.
Where's the ghost car? Oh, we're still purple.
Okay. All right.
Just gotta check to see where the ghost car is catching this. No! That doesn't matter! This is still gonna count.
Go for it anyway. Beat it anyway.
This is gonna count. I don't give a crap.
Oh, it's a bummer.
No, it still counts.
It still counts. By the way,
it still counted.
Before we wrap this up, I do want to say that we tried to shut off the invalidated times, and you can't do that. The game actually doesn't allow you to do it. So, anyway, we'll ask F1 26 to get rid of that.
Adam's going to call in the big guns. He's going to talk to EA. He's going to say, "Look, I want you to change this in the next version of this video game, and you better do."
We don't need black and whites anymore.
This is great.